thing with our acidification is it's affecting all of our animals with shells at the moment. So our hermit crabs, our soft-shelled crabs, even like cuttlefish, nautiluses, our squids have a shell inside of them. And so like even our animals that you might not think about, all of those animals that have shells, that acidification is causing them to erode.
I mean,
Yeah, so like all those animals, they have shells inside of them.
Yeah.
And so they're not on the outside of them like a hermit crab, but they do have shells. And so anything with a shell is being affected by it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we talked to Rachel and Tyler, who are part of the Tybee Marine Science Center. They were working at the Touch Center with the water, and they had hermit crabs and fish. And they were basically telling us that ocean acidification doesn't only affect oysters, they affect all animals with shells. So they were telling us how squids actually have internal shells that ocean acidification actually affects as well. And how if you ever see like a shell that's like cracked or brittle looking and has holes in it, that's probably due to ocean acidification. Okay.
But there is one way to combat, the easiest way to combat ocean acidification. One, I mean, obviously climate change is a huge problem, but the easiest way is just lobbying for making sure that our salt marshes don't get developed. So salt marshes have it's called a blue carbon storage. So they're actually able to take carbon from the atmosphere and they store them in their root systems in the marsh mud. Marshes and then mangroves also are able to do this. So, but the problem is so many people are going to develop right on the coastline, so you lose a lot of those areas that would be blue carbon stores, and it releases them back into the environment. So when you have those marshlands and you have your mangrove systems, we don't have mangroves this far north, but all along the Florida coastline, the furthest north they go is about St. Augustine. That area, so keeping that protected from development is what's going to help keep ocean acidification from getting worse.
Also, our air quality is affected immensely by the development of our marshlands and our mangroves because they're what's keeping our waters clean, which is keeping our air quality clean. They're more important for our oxygen. We learn our whole lives that like our trees are what is producing that oxygen that we need. That's actually not the case. Our marshes and our wetlands produce more oxygen that we breathe than anything else on the planet, and we've lost over 60% of our marshlands in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And so even just the little bit that we have left is so important for our water quality and our air quality, which also affects our climate change and our acidification. It's all one big loop. And so, it really just starts with like the base, which is our air quality and our water quality, which starts in our marshes.
And they told us that Gray's Reef is the closest reef on Tybee. It's they said it was either 6 miles out or 30 miles out, and that's about the only reef near Tybee. And they said that the whole coast has been affected due to the rising temperature of the ocean. In like 1 or 2 years, it's risen 1 degree, which is like if our temperature raises, we have to go to the hospital. So it's pretty serious. And so the whole coral is basically heating up, which is affecting like the skin layer on it that like protects the polyps that actually give it color, give the coral color. And basically if it doesn't have these polyps and they're affected and they're like hurt, then the coral can't like grow. It dies. The coral dies. It bleaches and then it dies. So the Tybee Marine Center was a success. We found so much information.